In part one, I revealed that Maharishi's goal of creating a permanent group of 10,000 Sidhis to bring heaven to earth had expanded to 7 groups of 10,000 in each group, and that Amaji's group would total 2 million, learning Maharishi's techniques and creating more groups. Here are some details. First, Shri Madhusudan Sai, the successor to Sai Baba, and who attended Maharishi's 10,000 assembly in India last December, is collaborating with the TM organization to create a group of 10,000 Sidhis to usher in the golden age of Satyug. Madhusudan has created a beautiful new structure for their 5-star schools to include the TM and TM-Sidhis program in their curriculum, and in the next month or so the number will rise to not 10,000 but 15,000. The schools are within 7 kilometers of each other. He invited us to come to India this year, and we will be there to see it. More on this in a few weeks. Second, there's a group of women in the foothills of the Himalayas who produce honey, silk, and ghee, which is clarified butter. 21,000 of them, and they have all learned the TM technique. And 10,000 of those have learned the more advanced TM-Sidhis program so far for even greater super radiance. And they're synchronizing their program with other groups, and they're consolidating their flying halls. This is very important to create a greater power of coherence from a group, to have it in one place. A permanent World Peace Assembly has begun, with 8,000 participating so far. And they have a retirement city for those who want to live there and keep participating. Third, an educator has changed the curriculum of his college in India so that the TM-Sidhis yogic flying technique is required to get a degree there. 6,000 of those students are practicing Maharishi's TM-Sidhis program now, and will be building up to 10,000 soon. So there's another group. Fourth, the woman saint Amma Shri Karunamayi, also known as Aman, or simply Amma, or Amaji. Ji is a term of affection. She attended the 11,000 conference in December in India and spoke there. Her group signed a contract with Maharishi's movement. The result, 2 million. 2 million of her meditators will learn Maharishi's TM and TM-Sidhis program. She has land in South India and around 25,000 pundits who will also learn Maharishi's TM and TM-Sidhis program and create another permanent group. Fifth, we're starting groups in other countries. In South America, there are 2 groups of 10,000 each. One is consolidated and one is building up. In South Africa, Mozambique, and Kenya will each create a 10,000 group. So that's 2 more groups of 10,000. I think probably by now the presentation will be in the archives of the Maharishi channel here on YouTube. The scientific studies on how group consciousness can create coherence from a distance and create it worldwide are unassailable and published in peer-reviewed journals. They're viewed by other scientists outside of the TM movement. Peer-reviewed journals, very important to validate any research you've done. In the first printing, the editors felt they had to publish a disclaimer saying that they did not understand how these results could happen. They were not aware of the fundamentals of the new physics, quantum field physics. Because the research was so impeccable, though, they felt they had to publish it. And they encouraged further research on these effects of what modern physics calls action at a distance. If you have two paired electrons, for instance, one of them spins this way, the other spins in the opposite direction. You can put them at any distance from each other, and they will shift like that simultaneously without any delay, even if the other electron is on the other side of the universe. And there's no waiting on light to travel. It's beyond the speed of light. Instantly, they're connected. What the scientists found is that the p-value, the possibility that these orderly effects generated by the group could have come by coincidence or from some outside influence, was 1 chance in 10 to the minus 19th power, or 1 chance in 10 million. That's a decimal point followed by 18 zeros and a 1. It's the most scientifically valid study in the history of social science. Now we have 7 groups of 10,000 almost formed, with many more on the way. And world peace is now assured. Heaven is about to descend to earth. The All India Imam organization, led by Dr. Imam Ilyasi, is the largest organization of imams in the world and the largest Muslim organization in India. Imams are those who lead prayers in mosques. He speaks for the 500,000 imams in India and is a religious and spiritual guide of the 210 million Indian Muslims. After garlanding Dr. Tony Nader at the celebration, Dr. Imam Ilyasi said, "All of you are an inspiration to the world. You come from all countries, all religions, and all walks of life, and you share in the practice of these powerful consciousness technologies. I salute you and the outstanding example of togetherness you have demonstrated here." So let's hoping he will join us too. In a letter of support to the Hyderabad Assembly in India in December, the Right Honorable Yukio Hatayama, former Prime Minister of Japan, wrote this: "Our world needs a group of at least 10,000 people practicing the TM and TM-Sidhis programs. You are achieving that. I feel certain that this group, when it is permanently established, will lead to peace in our world. Based upon my experience as Prime Minister of Japan, I would like to strongly propose that all the governments in the world look into this demonstration with scientific data and support the creation of permanent groups for fraternity, peace, and prosperity. Satyameva Jayate. That which is sattvic, that which is good and right and true, that will always win. As a result of all these groups forming, the dark age of the false prophet, the Rakshasa who has risen to destroy this nation and the world, is already weakening. You can see it in his panic state, in his mangled words, in his deranged speech, and in his face, and some of his followers are actually leaving him. I've been saying for 8 years, Trump will die when the dark age of Kali Yuga dies. We are watching him die as we are watching heaven descend to earth.